Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to review The Eternal Husband by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I finished this book recently. This is a Portuguese translation and I have to say something before I start this review. Obviously, I don't have a problem with reading the Portuguese translation. I would either read the English or the Portuguese one because I don't speak Russian. But I usually don't buy books published by this publishing house, Editorial Presença. I have really bad luck with this publishing house or books published by them because the books that I have are full of typos and weird sentence structures and commas everywhere, and then you don't have any commas. Just very, very strange. I actually DNF'd the book 2 years ago because I just couldn't continue with it. It was just so weird in terms of language. So I usually stay away from them. But I noticed that this book was not translated from English like most of them are. It was actually translated from Russian. And it was translated by Nina and Philippe Guerra. They share the same last name, so I guess they're either related or they're husband and wife. And they actually won a literary translation award. So I figured I'm gonna give it a shot because it's not every day that you find Portuguese translators that can translate from Russian. So I was excited to try it out, and that's why I bought this copy specifically. And I was pleasantly surprised. So anyway, The Eternal Husband by Fyodor Dostoevsky, my copy is 167 pages long, under 200 pages. It was a more or less quick read. It is interesting that such a short book could pack so much. Like, there are really heavy emotional elements in this book. It's just, it was funny, it was hilarious, and then at times it was just so heavy, so sad. It's wonderful. It was literally an emotional roller coaster. And I know that I haven't read a lot by Dostoevsky, but I was not expecting that. So to give you some context, The Eternal Husband follows Alexei Velchaninov. I don't have to tell you that I don't speak Russian, right? So sorry about the name. So I'm gonna call him Alexei because it's better. We follow Alexei, who used to be someone from high society, but right now he's dealing with some legal issues, money issues, and he sort of isolated himself. He stopped talking to his friends because he's not really, cash is not flowing as much. He can't attend all of these high society events. It doesn't seem like he wants to at the same time. He's hypochondriac, so he thinks he's dying all day, all day long. And he just seems very upset and annoyed with life. And he's just very depressing. But at the same time, the book itself wasn't depressing. Like, this is all in the beginning. It's not spoiler. But I just wanted to explain that it doesn't feel like the book is going to be too much. Because sometimes people say, oh, this character is so depressing, I can't read this book, I can't finish it. The character is depressing. He's going through some really heavy stuff, but at the same time, the book feels really light still, and it's easy to get through it. So we follow Alexei, and one day he connects the dots, and he realizes that every time he's really upset about something is when he sees this person, this man in the city, walking around with a hat that has a black sort of stripe on it because he's mourning for someone. And every time he sees this person, he doesn't understand, he doesn't know who he is at first. He realizes that his mood changes for the worst. And basically it's the story of them meeting and their how their paths interconnect. I'm trying not to spoil the rest of the story. At times this book was hilarious because their relationship gets to a point that just Alexei is making fun of him, and the other guy just doesn't realize it, or he doesn't know how to reply. He always feels like a doormat. And Alexei is just this strong guy. He's characterized as being very beautiful. He's in his 40s, so he is considered older by society standards at the time. But still he has a lot of charisma and presence, and the other guy doesn't. And there's like this sort of jealousy. Pavel, the other guy's name, Pavel Pavlovich, wishes he could be like Alexei, but at the same time, it's virtually impossible because he doesn't have the same presence, he doesn't have the culture, he doesn't have the identity, and it's really interesting to see these two characters clash so much. And like I said, sometimes it was really funny, sometimes it was just super heavy to read. I'm so happy that I picked up this book because I didn't know, honestly, I thought this was just going to be a very simple story about a couple. It is not. And I didn't even imagine that it was possible to pack so much emotion in such a short book. I was very, very surprised. Just I highly recommend this one. I think it's a good idea if you're trying to get into Russian literature to start with like shorter books. I still have my Karamazov Brothers project to complete, and I will, but I really wanted to read this one first. If you are thinking about doing it but you feel intimidated, because that's my problem, I recommend you start with the shorter works of Dostoevsky, for example. Start with this one, for instance, because it was wonderful. It really was. Let me know if you have read this book, because I would love to talk to someone about it. And now I want to talk about some specific things. So if you don't want to get spoiled for anything, I suggest you pause this video, save it, go read the book and come back. I'm not going to talk about much, but I just want to talk about certain things that I was not expecting at all, considering this book was written in, I forgot, I knew it and then I forgot, 1870. So Alexei knew Pavel Pavlovich, and they haven't seen each other for 9 years, and that's why he didn't recognize him at first. Also because he is now a widow. Pavel Pavlovich lost his wife, and she was sort of strict with him in terms of alcohol and smoking, and after she died he started drinking and smoking again, and that changed his look basically, and Alexei didn't recognize him at first. The way they meet is just weird and hilarious. Pavel Pavlovich is drunk most of the time, and so he's not a very reliable person, and Alexei knows that. The thing is, Alexei had an affair with Pavel's wife, and he is not 100% sure that Pavel knows. He knows Pavel is in town to meet this other guy that had also an affair with Pavel's wife, and he knows Pavel is aware of that, but he's not sure if he knows Alexei did the same. So it's not that he's afraid of him, because like I said, Alexei is described as being much stronger than him, but he doesn't want his reputation to be smudged by this. So basically he tries to help him, but at the same time he is keeping his distance. And he realizes that Pavel has a daughter, and this daughter is not his daughter. It's Alexei's daughter. But Alexei didn't know. The lady, the woman, told him that she was pregnant at first, but then she told him that it was a false alarm. So Alexei lived for the last 9 years thinking that there was no baby, and apparently there was a baby. This changes Alexei's perspective on life. He just wants to be a better person for his daughter, and he wants to change his ways. He focuses all of his energy on his daughter, but Pavel doesn't make it easier for him. And he has this really weird relationship with Alexei. He's very clingy. He's always after him, always bothering him, always annoying him, and Alexei doesn't understand why. And it's just so interesting that I was not expecting this, but I was and I wasn't. At first I thought, well, maybe Pavel is in love with Alexei, but no, that wouldn't happen. But it did. When he made his feelings clear, I was just overwhelmed, and Alexei didn't even know how to respond. Like, he was not expecting that at all. This book was just up and down the entire time. It's just like really nice, funny energy, like positive energy, changing our lives for the better, and then down we go with all of this really heavy emotional elements. It's just, it was an emotional roller coaster. But I did not expect a book that was published in 1870 Russia to have a very clear scene in which a man expresses his feelings for another man. I did not expect that. It blew me away. I was just, what? And it's so funny because this book I was so excited about this book. The next day after I finished it on a Friday. The next day, my boyfriend and I went for a weekend trip with his family and some friends. We went to Fatima, which is in the south of Portugal, and we were driving to the bus, basically. And I was telling my boyfriend about the book, and even my boyfriend was like, what? And then what happened? And then what? It was amazing. There's like this, it's Fyodor Dostoevsky weave this, I don't know, it's a web of things happening, and I loved it. I can totally see myself rereading this book so soon. It was that good. So I really hope you pick it up and let me know what you think, because I'm excited. I'm excited about this book. I'm excited for you to read it. Everybody should read it. So let me know down below if you have read it, if you agree with me or not, and if you didn't, will you? And let me know. I'll link my Instagram down below. We can talk. Please read the book. It's really short. It's really nice. Just, I loved it. And if you are from Portugal, you can totally pick up this edition, translated by Nina and Philippe Guerra. I don't have anything to say about the translation, really. It is one of those, it is the first book in a couple of years by this publishing house that I don't have anything to say. So that's saying a lot. I'm done. If I continue talking, I'm just going to ramble. So yeah, let me know down below. I'll link my Instagram down below as well if you want to talk about it. And you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye.